here live. This is another episode of the Group Chat Podcast. We are back. Excuse my lighting situation. It'll be more understandable in a week. See, that shit never fails. That shit never fails. Like, this nigga is...
Oh, nigga's like Batman.
Oh, shit. Hey, look, man, we're not gonna talk about my setup. My setup's a little wild. We rolling though. I'm on one monitor. I got no lights. I got no green screen. It's rough out here, man. But we gonna make it work. We're gonna have a good time.
Like you trying to start a revolution.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, man, look. So that's just, you got to do what you got to do. I got TV in the background. See, that's how you know.
Shout out to my nigga fresh back from Turkey.
Look, man, this should be gone in a day. Literally, like about an hour after we done. Oh man, I'm joined as always by my brother here on the right, standing in 6'6", 273 pounds. Tony is in the building. How we feeling today?
6'6", 270. God damn, that's a waste of size. That's such a waste of size. That's not even that. Don't do that because that's not even that. That's not even that. That's not that. Because I knew what you were about to do.
I wasn't. It wasn't right. My turn. It wasn't
okay.
My turn. I was right.
Okay.
Zion been hooping, man. Zion's been hooping. Shout out to the nigga 6'6" and above. Standing in at the other on the left side. Standing in at niggas won't make jokes. Standing in at 5'6", 137 pounds. Hey, no, I don't.
5'6" is crazy.
Like no Hey, Darren Sproles was a monster, man. No bullshit. I don't height shame. Like, it's just not in me. It's not one of those things I do. I generally hate most conversations about height because there's just a bunch of people come up and be like, "Oh, you know how tall? Like, wow, you're so tall." And I'm like, "Thanks, man. Thanks. You gave me some information I didn't know about." But there was somebody at my job today who was like, because height does matter for the kind of things, for the kind of work that we do. It's like if you're taller, it is easier to get stuff. If you're not as tall, there's some issues that can arise with it. So new hire, he's 5'5". He's getting trained by the dude who's 5'4". And so the 5'4" dude is just like, it's actually kind of helpful because I can help him with the shit that, like I obviously somebody like myself can't. I trained a guy, and on the first day, I didn't even bring the step ladder. So this nigga couldn't do shit because he just wasn't tall enough at all. And I'm like, all right, my bad. Then another one comes in, and he's 5'10", 5'11", maybe. And he want to sit there and start like cracking jokes on the short dudes. Now, even though I was cracking jokes on the short dudes, I found it offensive that he was cracking jokes on the short dudes. So I started shaming him, going like,
"Here you go, Jack and the Giant Beanstalk ass nigga." Like, Jesus,
y'all under 6 feet. Like, you can't be beefing. Like, you can't be beefing with other people under 6 feet tall. Like, that should just be the rule.
Ain't shit different between 6 feet and 5'11", but a goddamn nothing. Like, literally a nothing.
Oh man, that's it.
Be a man of the people.
I am. I'm defending. I'm defending all of my. You can't say that word no more. But I'm defending all of my short kings, man. We are defending everybody.
We got to be politically correct around here.
Amen. Hey, speaking of politically correct, who y'all been listening to this week, man? Who we got for rappers of the week? Who's making that $9.99 a month worth it?
I don't know. What's $9.99 a month? Tidal ain't $9.99 a month.
I got the little.
Nor is Spotify for that matter.
I don't know.
But my rapper of the week is Roscoe P. Cold Chain. Philadelphia's own Roscoe P. Cold Chain. Fresh out. If Fresh Out was a few years, but I digress. Longtime Clips collaborator, new song out, produced by Nicholas Craven. Go stream it, go watch it. That's my Ben Sprinter. Go watch it, go check it out. That's my rapper of the week.
Shout out to Roscoe P. Shout out to Tony for putting me in the game. My rapper of the week, I think I'm gonna go with TF. Um,
Okay.
I don't know if y'all know. I don't know if y'all know TF. I don't know if y'all heard of him. He done did some collab. Um, but he
I seen
also
the
is a
name.
West Coast guy. Um, nothing. He ain't
Definitely
got
looks
nothing
like
new
a
out, but
hot
he
dog shit
definitely
at
he
Ti.
got a fire collab with Absol on his last album. Feeling the power. So shout out to Ti.
Uh, Shout out to something that I never thought we'd get again. SOBRBE are friends again. Um, Something I never thought I would see, considering the acts and things they said about each other and did to each other. I think it was the end of 2019, early 2020. Um, and so there was a post like 2 weeks ago and it said, "Oh, they back together," but it was just RB. Like Young To, who's personally my favorite out of the group, also probably the most violent, is he wasn't in that clip, and so I'm just like, they hyping it up. I was excited, but then nothing came of it. But then they finally took a picture. I want to say it was like 4 days ago, 5 days ago, and so I've been running through a bunch of their old shit. Um, they were voted. They did some. I forget who did the poll, but it was most dangerous rappers in California, and YG had won that shit like 3 years in a row, and these niggas supplemented YG, and it was like, and so that's actually how I found out about them because I was just like, I gotta know, like, how did you beat in like a list of who's
YG was
considered
getting
the
it.
most
You know
dangerous
what?
rappers
I
in
ain't gonna
California?
ask that over a microphone and a camera. That's crazy. But but YG being that is very interested. Okay.
That's crazy.
And so, and these niggas, they live their raps. You know, I wouldn't want to live their
Man,
raps, but they live their raps. To can sing his ass off. Like, I'm excited for what they gonna pull out. So
I'm
SOBRB
scared of
rapper of
niggas
the
that
week.
commit crimes, that commit violent crimes, and like sing well.
I don't know if they seem well. They
You
like
sing well enough.
you just
You
said he can
sing
sing his
well
ass
they
off.
enough.
sing well. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You sing well enough. If you can harmonize even a little bit and you commit violent crimes, then you're YNW Melly. And I'm very afraid of a nigga like YNW Melly. So
That's a fair to be nervous of. Um, Real quick before we get into Hope, who's no, it's a wild question. Never mind. Let me chill out. Let me chill out. See, I don't got my lights. I'm on a different kind of timeline today. Um, we got new Jay Z news. So Jay Z. So there's a lot to talk about here. We got an announcement. We got an interview. We got a lot of actual new Jay Z. He decided to step out and talk to the people. I know he always does, like, he does a press conference, I think, for the NFL for the Super Bowl, but it's usually like a bunch of bland, like, kind of reiterated in the GQ part. It's like, yeah, I picked Bad Bunny. You know, he's the number one streamed artist in the world. Or last year, like, yeah, I picked Kendrick Lamar. He's having a great year. It's a very not super in depth, but he decided to speak to the people. We got announcements on the Root Picnic. Um, where we want to start? We want to start with the announcement of the performances, or we want to start with the interview?
it's up to you, host.
I want to start with the interview because I want to get something out of the way real quick. The two funniest things to me were a when do we finally get to retire like the Drake Kendrick beef? Because both Cole and Hove talked this week, and that was like the first thing that got brought up to both of them. Like, when do we just like? I get it, podcasters need stuff to talk about. Trust me, I do. But like, when do we finally get to retire and be like, this was in 2024. We've gotten new music. We can move on. Like, we're about to have a new album from Drake. We already gotten another album from Kendrick. Like, when do we get to finally like retire this conversation?
Will.
I think. I mean, I think if it was two niggas people wanted to hear about the beef from, those would be the two. So, I mean, I think I can understand that, especially you talking about outside of the two people who were in the beef that don't necessarily do a lot of interviews. Then two people who were well, J. Cole was kind of a lot more ingratiated into it than Jay Z. So I mean, he was a big piece. So I mean, that should have been obvious. Like it could have been 5 years from now if he did an interview. That was the first thing that was going to ask him. Uh, And then I mean, Hove, I kind of figured. I don't know if it was the first thing he was asked, but I mean, it was only a 35-minute interview that was probably halfway through at some point. Uh,
Mm.
but but I mean, with the I kind of figured that'd be a thing too, especially with the Super Bowl performance. Now, I would
I
think
loved his.
outside of maybe a Kendrick Lamar interview, we shouldn't really have to hear about it anymore. Drake went on his little run of doing streams and shit like that, the shit that niggas don't care about. So, um, outside of Kendrick doing an interview and maybe being asked about it and sometime in 2027, uh, I think that's it, to be honest. I don't think there's anybody else niggas want to hear from about this beef.
This shit ain't never gonna die because Drake's gonna keep it going. And that's one. Two, I don't think it's up to us to decide, like, or the public, if you will, to decide when a beef conversation ends. I think it's just the thing of like, for because of the magnitude of the situation, forever when one does something, that's going to get brought up, and that's just the way it is. Like, this was all avoidable. This was all avoidable. This whole thing did never had to happen because Kendrick said what he said, and obviously Drake responded as you figured he would, and then he came back with the tailor made shit, and it's just like this beef ain't. It's never going. The conversation around it. I'm not gonna say the beef itself because that's like set in stone, but the conversation of the beef will never die out just because it was too big. Like it's going to keep going. So
I mean,
forever until these motherfuckers stop rapping is like it's always going to get brought up. Drake can never do anything again where that beef don't get brought up, and the same for Kendrick. So
I mean, and
Hov,
you can even to that point, not to cut you off, bro. Like when you talking to Jay Z and you talk about Nas, like I'm sure you can go through comments somewhere about that interview where Ether is mentioned. I guarantee,
absolutely,
I will bet any type of
absolutely.
money you can find a comment under an interview clip under that interview on YouTube, and somebody's gonna mention Ether.
So
No,
it's
that's
one of
definitely
those
true.
things. It's one of those things was just like we don't give a shit about it no more. Us three in this room right now, like we don't give a shit about it anymore. But when it comes to interviews or it comes to conversations amongst, you talking to a J. Cole, you talking to a Jay Z, like those things will come up. Still, like when Iceman drops and people listen to it, if it's not up to par, quote unquote, people are going to say, "Look what Kendrick did to this nigga." If it's fire, whatever that looks like for Drake in 2026, then people going to say, they'll still come back and say, "Yeah, this was good, but it wasn't enough," or some shit like that.
Yeah,
So,
even if it's fire, the people who support Kendrick are gonna say, "Look what Kendrick did to this nigga."
so, and I'm sure Justin will get to this, but like to what Jay was saying is just like we too deep in the standum as like a culture for the conversation around it to end.
No, I did love his answer when they dude asked him was like, oh, they even made it seem like you picked sides because you picked the Super Bowl, and no one has a more condescending laugh
It's
than
the
Jay
best.
Z.
It was the best response you could have.
And when he's just like, why would I need to do that? Like I'm Jay Z, like
Jay
I'm
Z.
home, like what the, like what the, like, and his laugh just on top of like demeanor, it's just like man, it's like, it that made me like when you talk about like who's and obviously Drake and Kendrick been dominating music, but like when you are like one of those kind of legends, and I'm not trying to disrespect Drake or Kendrick necessarily, but it's like when you someone like Jay and he's just like, yeah, what the fuck I gotta care about these niggas? Like, do y'all know who the fuck I am? Like, I get it. They Hall of Famers too, but it's like there's a difference between the Hall of Famers and like the Lawrence Taylors, the Michael Jordans. Like, nigga, I'm up there. Like, congrats to them, but I'm me. Um, I did. We got an announcement for Jay's performing at the Roots Picnic, a couple other shows, and again, this interview when the topic was getting made. Um,
Three sold out shows at
a
Yankee Stadium are the other shows for the people.
I looked at the prices for those tickets, and boy,
Nada.
Actually, they were already they were sold
Nah.
out. They were sold out by the time it was my turn in queue. So then I went to the little resale sites. They wanted $800 for the 300 level.
How much would y'all pay for Hope tickets?
Not that.
Like, what's your
Not
actual?
$800.
What's like if
What's
you
what's
got
the
and
location?
I
Because I'm
just
not paying. I'm not paying $800 to see Jay Z perform in the Bronx. Like fuck. So it's like,
all right.
what's the what's the location?
Let's say for this example to make it easy, like they come into your home. Hove is in your city, and let's say the seats are, we'll just say good seats, right? We're not gonna say like you're not right up there, but you're not in like the nosebleeds. What is an actual amount you will pay to see Hove?
Let's say per ticket, because like I can't go Dolly, so I guess that's two tickets right there. So let's say 350. I pay 350 a ticket to go see Jay.
Where you got to be sitting for
700
350 a
total.
ticket.
No, that's what I said. Tickets just good seats. They're nothing crazy, just good seats.
Well,
Whatever good
our arena
seats.
is great, like view wise, because like Hove ain't selling out fucking M&T by itself. So it's like, if we talking arena show, I'm good anywhere really. Person like in our shit, like it ain't no goddamn all state arena and all of that shit y'all got up there. So so we all right. But yeah, 350 for sure. Like I'm not a floor seat guy. Like I'm fucking short, and like I just generally prefer to be up some levels. So it's like, but
That
it
makes sense.
say it's a tax on the tickets. Say it's a tax on the tickets. I could do 350.
That's only funny because like my wife, she'll sit there and try to be like, oh, she'll try to like move herself closer, and I'm like, hey, that works for you. You all look 5'3". I'm like, when they see my ass trying to budge through and get to the front, I'm like, we did that shit in Mexico once. I was like,
I've
bro, you about
seen
to
it.
get me stabbed. Like,
Will
you
you
have
the
to get like,
Will the funniest things that I've seen at festivals are people's annoyance with Justin trying to like get a good view for his wife.
oh, it's nah, nigga, I'm shocked. Like,
And
and
they
again,
looking
I
at
am
him like, my nigga, you
non-violent.
can
I am
see.
peaceful. That's what I like. I am peaceful. I am non-violent. I'm like, I am so shocked someone ain't try to like swing on me though. Like that, and I'm not even like, I wouldn't even be like,
See the type of shit she'll get you into.
bro. It's again. Nothing was like more. It was. I'll never forget. It was in Mexico. She trying to get. It was in Mexico. YG performing "Fuck Donald Trump," and she trying to find her way to the front. But I was. People could have lost it. People might have lost their lives in that moment, and I have no idea. Like the
They
shit.
might have
It
hawked
was
you
a
up.
surreal. It was such a surreal ass. I'm just like, yo. What's the most you paying for Hope tickets, Will? Like just some
Mm,
good tickets.
I'll pay like four.
So okay,
I'll pay like 400.
probably in the same ballpark.
Depends. It depends. Like I mean, I might pay five. It depends. Like it would depend.
Now, is
Probably.
that based on just
Ask me how much I pay to see Jay Z with Rockefeller. Like if he bringing
that's what
like
I'm like? If you got to
The
see prime,
price
like
go
you got to
up.
see prime Jay Z, would you
prime
change your
Hove,
price amount?
nah,
Yeah.
cause shit was cheaper then anyway. So it's
Yeah.
like
Because like I can keep my 350 and go back.
shit was cheaper. I could shave 100 off that to see
Oh,
prime
oh,
Rockefeller.
Hove and like the whole rock.
That'd
They
be
might
wild.
get they can get a bag out of me for sure.
That'd be a fire ass show. I need to see here. Who else performing at Roots?
It's a great card. It's a great lineup.
It is.
It's a
I was
great
looking at
it's a great lineup.
because who they had, I think they had Kalani on like one of the days. She was let me see.
They got Jay with the Roots and Badu headliners, so off top, and then you got Ti, got Kalani, Brandy, um, as undercard. You know, the highest undercard you could have. Um, you got Wale out there. My
Wale.
son JD and friends.
They got
Like
That's a lot of
Mariah the
friends. Like what's
Scientist.
that?
it's a
Like
lot of friends. It's a
that's a
lot
nigga
of
who is like,
friends.
hey yo,
It's a
like
lot of
yo.
friends, man. Uh, who else out there? De La Soul coming through. It's gonna be a
No,
great show.
they got a good lineup.
How much are these tickets?
Jermaine Dupri gonna bring the legend out, so you know they're gonna go crazy, Justin, when Bow Weezy hit the stage.
Tickets, I'd imagine, have gone up since the initial release, if I had to guess. I know all the VIP shit sold out just off of Hove alone. That's before they even announced the rest of the shit.
That's
That
because
was okay. So that was
everybody was trying to get those Hove tickets, and when that didn't work, they said, "I guess we going to Roots."
that's that's see
No,
that's
that shit got
interesting.
announced before
Those all
though.
sold out.
Same
They
Because I
thing.
was
annou-
gonna say before, because the Root shit got announced, or the picnic got announced, and then the Yankee Stadium shows, right?
Jay got announced as a headliner last Tuesday. I feel like my accent came out just now, but Jay got Jay got announced as the headliner last Tuesday, and then the Yankee Stadium shit got announced I think Wednesday, and then Thursday they announced Badu, and then Friday Roots announced the full card on Friday, and then Friday evening, uh, that's when Rock Nation announced the sale of the Bronx show, the Yankee Stadium shows. In that order, as my girlfriend says, I work for Rock Nation, so I remember these things.
That's I mean, hey, look, information is power. Um, do you like? Why do you think now? I guess for Hove, as far as doing the interview, doing the shows, like he's like why? Because he can do whatever the fuck he wants, and he's clearly shown that. Because even his last two or last three tours
I
are
mean
just a
the
bunch of doing
obvious
Beyonce.
the obvious of why is like right there.
I get it, but I'm because I'm only asking. So let me clear my case really quick because I've pushed back because you've been pretty adamant the last couple years of like even just talking in text messages like we're getting one more Hove album, like that's kind of been your consensus. Like we're gonna get one more. I haven't fully bought into that. I'm like I wouldn't be shocked if he would I think always do like a verse or two a year kind of deal like he's been doing and even some not every obviously not even every year is I guess then are we is it that time like is it time to expect a new Hove album because he was
I've
talking about that a
always
little bit in the interview too.
I've always thought his last album would be I've always thought his last album would be I'm not gonna say I've always thought it would be 30 years to his first album, but I always thought it would be some type of anniversary to his first album. So it's like I always thought that like whenever that last album is, it'll be some type of anniversary to when Reasonable Doubt came out. And there's been times since 444 came out where I felt like, okay, he's gonna drop an album, he's gonna drop an album, he's gonna drop an album. Do I still feel confident in him dropping an album? Like, I'm probably 50-50 on it if I was to say right now. Because him being able to do these anniversary shows for what many people consider his two best albums is more than enough. I don't really think anybody is like begging for new Hove, but it's for sure something we'd appreciate getting. Um, when it comes to whatever that last album sounds like he said, it gotta be something that's like gets him. It gotta inspire him. Like it gotta matter. It can't just be an album for the sake of being an album. I don't think we'd want that from him any goddamn way.
And I don't think he
That's
would do it.
valid.
No, for sure.
Do you so that's why another thing he brought up during the interview was that he's made he made it sound even like he's actually been pretty active as far as being creative, making music, but he's got a bunch of it where he's like, I don't want to put that out because that shit was too dark. Like there's just these things that have been going on. Obviously he's had the lawsuit. Um, there is a just normal, unfortunately normal everyday issues that it's like he said, hey look, I don't want to put this out because this shit is too dark. Would how do I say this without sounding like crazy? A, What does that sound like to y'all? As far as like, if he's saying like, yo, I made like a dark album, like, would you want? Because he kind of also said like 444. He's like he doesn't go back and listen to it because it was too personal. It was a time in his life where he's like he had to do a bunch of healing, he had to do a bunch of working on himself. So he's like he don't just go back and play 444. What in y'all opinions is like a dark Jay-Z album sound like, or what do you think he quote unquote hasn't been willing to put out?
Uh, I mean, it might just, I guess for me, it sounded like it might just have been music around maybe some of the shit that he had going on. Like to what extent, whether it was the lawsuit. I know he mentioned that in the interview and all of that, but
Because he
I
said
think
444, he can't go back and listen to it because it's just so personal. Like it's very heavy to listen to, which is fair.
The uh, what I was about to say, if because we've clowned other people for doing it, and I'm not saying Jay wouldn't do it in a better way, but like we've clowned like Chance gets clowned like, oh, he made an album about being married and love and talking about his wife. Jay, I just being serious, like we clowned other guys, it's like he's about like being a dad, or he's at like Jay, I feel like can get away with that. Because if he makes an album about being in love with his wife, we all know his wife, and that just comes with different rules. Then no disrespect to Chance the Rapper's last marriage. Like, it's just you're talking about a wife. Depending on who you're talking about, you get a different standard. Could Jay make like a I am how old is he? 54 now? 55? Something like he's got to be.
56.
If reasonable doubt, 56. Yeah, if reasonable doubt, because yeah. So like, could he make an album talking about being like the happy mid-50s, like I'm a dad, like I'm happy in my marriage? Like, could he make that album and it not be joked the way that we've joked other artists for doing
Well, if
he gonna do it better
444
than that.
that, but if 444 was like, you know, telling us about his faults as a husband and his wrongs as a husband, or as a father, really, and trying to, grow, then we had no problem with him giving us the other side of that, being like, these are the good things about being the husband to especially to the woman I'm married to. These are the good things about fatherhood and shit like that. Because like Will said, he'd do it better, that we know. But that don't seem
that? No,
like,
that I agree.
I don't know if that's something he'd do anyway. You know, I feel like he'd get more out of telling you about the struggle than the good of it all. Because I feel like you just see that. I don't think that's something he'd care to really rap about. Like you can see it.
Like, nigga, I'm worth $1 billion. I'm married to Beyonce. I got some good, healthy kids. Like, I'm like, you could see the positives in his life. I guess what that is in like, what does I know you said G55 down and now. Like, what does a final album from Hove look like? Because he said he doesn't, like, he made it sound like in the interview, he doesn't know how to make music without expressing like the times or the feelings. He's like, he don't make, for example, like to say like Wayne just raps to rap. So he's like, I can't do that. At least, and that's his own words. So what does that like final closure album look like? Because technically the Black Album was his first attempt at that. Like he was supposed to retire post making the Black Album. Obviously totally different space in his life. But because I don't know if you had told him then, that's '02, right? '02,
Oh,
Black
three.
Album?
Yeah, oh,
'03.
three.
Yeah. So if you had told him in 2003, like, oh, well, you going to keep being active for another 20 plus years, I'm not sure he would have believed you. And so this would be kind of like his real retirement album. And that's not something
Thank
that a lot of guys have because a lot of guys don't have 20-year careers.
thank God he didn't retire on that album. Uh
I fuck with Black Album, so I'm not
they got good records. I don't fuck with the album itself. But I don't know what a Jay-Z record would sound like in 2026. Like, but I also couldn't have expected 444 to be what it was either. So it's like I haven't I couldn't have expected Magna Carta to be what it was. So it's like I think at this stage of Jay-Z's career is like you don't know what to expect, but you appreciate what you do get because like for me, 444 is a classic album. It's one of the best albums he made. And can he make another 444? Maybe. Maybe he can't. But I think going in, if we are to get a new Jay-Z album, I think not having expectation um is the best thing that you could do as a listener and as a fan.
That's fair. Will, what's the final Hove album sound like to you?
I don't know. Um, like
As long as I
I
don't hear
think
no Cash Cobain beats, I'll be okay.
I think for me after like 444 is like I definitely don't know what to expect as far as what direction he'll go in.
Could he do? And I guess this is like the case with because he's stuck because he's still been around and he's done like that. He's done like a verse or he does two verses during a year. He talked about he was close to being on the Clips album. Like I'm almost wondering like if he feels the expectation of like you're not going to get an entire album out of like God did verses, right? Like that was a crazy verse. He was rapping his ass off, storytelling. You're not going to get that for 40 plus minutes consecutively. And so if that's what you're expecting, because it's like, oh shit, I just saw him do this crazy ass verse a couple years ago, that's still the level he's at. It's like you can only do some of those kind of verses when you are not as active as a regular artist. And so I'm almost wondering, like, could you?
Is that true?
I so it's always in my case of why like, and I love Three Stacks, but it's like part of the reason like Three Stack verses sound so crazy is because they're just in a verse. He doesn't have to put out a full album or put out multiple features. Like a lot of your material, a lot of the lines that you think as you're just rapping in your head, like what sounds fire, you get to keep a lot of that for a lot more condensed material.
I mean, and it's also easier when you rap in half the song. Like
I, I mean, I just,
I
I
love Andre as much as the next man, but like I'm not going to compare that to like niggas with solo albums like Jay Z.
I get that, but I'm just saying in terms of their activity, like they've both been like, I get it. Their
It's
careers are
not the
drastically
same.
different.
It's not the same at all. It's not the
The
same.
logic. Let me try it this way. The logic is like when M crashed out, like nobody told them he wasn't that no more because he kept putting out a whole bunch of stuff. It was like, oh, it was real easy to see like this is getting bad real fast. Versus if he had only did like a verse a year or two verses a year and kept to himself, we might not have heard that much trash from him. And I've been like, oh, okay, he still got it. He's still, he could still be that. He's just not gonna do that consistently. He tried to do it consistently, and it was like, all right, this is going down in flames. And I guess
But
that goes to
again,
my point. And M's more
uh,
comparable to Hove than Andre is.
but not really. That's the point. Like again, not really. Like as good as M was when M was good, M M's music it just does not age as well as Jay Z's. Like M was
That's
cold.
fair.
M was cold. M's peak is he was the guy, but away get away from the time and listen to the music. It's like okay, these lyrics just don't age that well. And I'm not even saying the lyrics are bad because there's still
Mm-hmm.
old Eminem shit you could go to, and it's hard. Even if you don't think it's the most substance or the best shit, it's still hard the way he was putting the shit together. But
Mm-hmm.
like, there's not many people you could compare to Jay. It's like Nas. When you talk about his era, because you can go back further if you prefer, but when you talk about his era, is Nas is, and I'm talking about guys where we got to see them kind of age out. So obviously Pac and Big passed early. So like you got Nas, um,
X.
Wu Tang, not even X. Like X had a 3 year run. Like from 98 to I'll say from 98 to '03 is when X was at his best. As far as even if you
Oh
feel
yeah,
like his albums ain't hold up that great. From 98 to '03, X was at his best as a rapper. After that, it's like not really. So it's like there's not many people you can compare Jay to. Um, I'm fine comparing him to Outkast because I'm not like big as well, big boy. But like it's just when you talking about Jay, it's a very particular thing, and the irony of it all is that Nas is really the only person you could compare him with. And like we all
No, I
like
feel
Nas is
that.
still one of the coldest rappers whenever he's rapping. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like that's the bar.
Shout out to
In the
Nas for putting
locks,
out
but that's like Kiss is obvious.
that's yeah. Shout out to Nas for putting out like that little here's all my features from the last year and a half that I did and just do that shit on Apple Music. Um, I respect it. Could I guess I'll ask this, and I don't think y'all would say yes to it, but we'll entertain the possibility. Could Hove put out a bad last album?
Yeah. Yeah, the nigga 56.
I
Nigga
wasn't sure if I was gonna get
56.
that. I was like, I'm not like, look, man,
He
just
could definitely
saying.
he put out a bad album when he was young. You think he can't put out a bad album when he old? Like
You thought niggas was gonna get up here and lie?
I was testing the waters. I'm like, because you brought up Magna Carta, and I'm like, Magna Carta exists, and that's a yep. Oh, that was my other one. And this is sidebar part. I'm not trying to sidebar, but I was curious because I had this conversation in my head. We don't got to stay here long. Jay, Kendrick, or Kanye? Who is the best
walk in the bar.
like, because somebody was, I forget, I was listening, I saw the Ray Daniels clip, and he was comparing, like, Kanye to Jay, and he's like, oh, Kanye makes better albums. And I'm like, well, Kanye's probably the best album maker ever in hip-hop. And he's in the argument, at least. But I'm like, Kendrick's batting 90% with the only album that I think people defer on or have the biggest. Timid Butterfly is weird, but Timid Butterfly is a classic. I think the Mr. Morale albums where people are like, it's either for you or not for you, and that's obviously a big divide. But out of those three, who would y'all put as like the best album maker in hip hop? Like history, in my opinion. Because those right now I think are my top three guys.
What Dot got 6 albums?
It was
Not counting Untitled
Untitled,
Unmastered.
right?
What you got? 5 or 6?
Good
Good
Kid,
Kid.
Damn, Morale, GNX.
So 5.
The yeah.
Reasonable
Six, right?
Doubt,
Four of
Volume
those
1, Volume
five.
2, Volume 3, Blueprint.
And it's six. I got six, right? Is it six or five?
I think it's
We're not
5
counting Untitled,
Studio.
Unmastered. Yeah, if we're not counting Untitled and we're not counting Section 80, then Dot's at 5.
Yeah, because I
Not
wasn't
counting.
counting
Mind you,
Section
the
80.
nigga, yeah, because that nigga
Okay.
takes
Yeah, we're
years
not
to
counting
make.
Section 80.
He's
Fine.
been active, but he takes years to make albums, which ain't a bad thing. He does take his time.
First 5 albums? Shit.
Now you can take the whole discography because if it's just
I know you
first
can take the
five,
whole
now you're
discography, but it's like
dragging.
Jay got 11. Kanye got a bunch. The last few don't really matter at all. So it's like
I was I'm only worried
I was
about
trying to
Kanye's
just trying to look
albums.
at it from like the first 5.
Ask the question again.
The best album maker in hip hop history. Because the clip was based on Ray saying Kanye's albums are better than Hove's, and I'm like, I think that's weird, but Kanye might
Like that's
be the best
fine
album
if you
maker.
that's fine if you think that. Like you could agree or disagree on
No,
that.
I
That's fine.
the person obviously
I'm
went on
talking
to
about him. I'm
grow
talking about
as
Ray
an
Daniels. I'm
artist,
saying out of all the
but
bullshit Ray Daniels say, like that's a fine take. Like whatever.
He
Like
do be
that's
he been on the run. Like just
yeah.
saying.
Like that's fine. Like whatever. I would
I just it's
Nigga like
the level
Marcus,
of
like obviously
album
I
making are
prefer
incredible.
Jay's. Like as a fan, I prefer Jay's. But if I'm taking all those albums into account, Kendrick has the best albums though.
Kendrick's beating graduation, late registration. Yes, see that's where it's like, and again, it's weird because like I think in totality of making an album because Kanye's got so much impact on making his own albums both musically and obviously the rapping is where it's weird because nobody's going to compare him as a rapper to those two. He's not in that class. But musically, he puts
Up
down
until
and
2014, he
he
was.
just he. That's fine.
Un-
That's fine. That's
Until
all.
we
That's
knew
all I need.
better.
Like you got when you got 5 albums like that, I'm just like, oh, look, man, you beating a lot of people up with that.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I think I probably prefer I prefer Jay as far as discography, but I would probably go Kanye over Dot, especially if we talking five.
it's close for me. It's close. Because rap wise just
The
needs.
rapping is what separates Dot between Kanye. Because I think production wise, I'm coming through in the background of y'all.
Yeah, I was like, say, I think Juan Wills.
What's with my?
It was Tony was coming through with like echo.
But
All right, say something
yeah,
now.
the rapping is what separates it though. So that's why I would like favorite Kendrick though.
No, that's like the toughest part is like again the song making and the structure and just a lot of the hits like Kanye made early on like those are crazy, but they are not near the rapping ability of like what Kendrick's put out and what. And if Kendrick gets one more, like I think GNX is on its way to being a classic. I'm not sure if I'd put it there yet, but I think it's on its way. Kendrick gets one more, then I think the conversation is in his hands. Like he becomes the best album maker in hip hop. Because I guess before we close this out, and move on. Is there anybody else y'all feel like I'm missing? Like that should be in that conversation?
I mean, if we got a minimum album list, because obviously, like,
I to fuck with them, I think you got to get to at least four.
okay,
You got top four. The Dots definitively got four right now.
yeah, Jay, Kendrick, and Kanye.
Like as much as I love Nas, I'm like, and as much as I love the Hit Boy shit at the end, I'm like, I don't think Nas is in there. Even if I would say it was written Illmatic, Godson, and then give me either Magic or King's Disease 1. And I'm like, but that's just they're also so far apart where I'm like, damn, what am I saying about like the middle of his career?
You know what you're saying. You just don't want to say
That's dope. So that's why
it.
I'm like, those are five great albums, and I'm like, nigga, you missing some years. um,
Nigga said Jay
I,
lost though, but you know what? that's
I just
that's
look,
another
man,
story for
look,
another day. That's
hey,
another story for another day. But I
that's
don't.
nothing Jay
He
laughing
just
at.
said in an interview, even his losses is wins.
I can't think of any though. Personally, yeah, I can't think of any.
Like, because even the guys who were like, when you texted us like your top 10 rappers, I'm like, okay, well, who from that list? And I'm like, okay, well, it's not Wayne. Wayne don't got enough. It's not Kiss. Kiss don't have enough. Even if I think the rapping is that great, I'm like, the albums, it's like different conversation. Who else was showing up in those lists? Um, Big obviously just doesn't have enough in terms of like as much respect as you can give him, and I do think you need more than the two to be in this convo. Pac, I
Hmm.
wouldn't put in there. um, who was the other one? Like Wu Tang is. I mean, can Candace collect it? Like, no. So I know it's again.
I think those the right three.
Um,
I think those the right three.
yeah,
I think it's only
rapping
those three.
there. No, yeah, I think that's kind of a tier by themselves. Like they can fight it out, and then I think you got to go down one to
Hmm.
get to the next set of people. Um, but hey, man, if we get a new HOV album, I'm excited for it. I'm gonna listen to it. Obviously, um, that shit'll be dope. The oh, was about to rejoin us here in a second.
Hmm.
Going to the NFL draft, I want to ask you first. You do the majority of since this has started. You've been our draft expert because you are the most tuned in by a mile as far as with college football. Uh, how do you feel about this draft? We're now less than 30 days out. Like as a whole, how do you
We
feel about
are
this
less
draft?
than 30 days out. It's not. I don't love it as much as the last few drafts personally. I do think there's going to be some good players in here. This draft does have some of my favorite players that I've looked at over the last few years that I've done evals on, if you will. Like Ruben Bain is one of my favorite players that I've kind of broken down over the last few years. Um, McNeil, like the safety class is probably my favorite safety group. I can say that between Caleb Downs, Dylan Thineman, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, like the safety class is one of my favorite classes I've looked at. The offensive line, I don't really love the offensive line prospects. Like I like Francis Mauigoa a lot from Miami. That's probably my favorite offensive lineman in this draft. But if I was to compare him to some of the guys from the last few years, I don't necessarily love him. But the draft is going to have just a lot of guys that will help a team next year. Like I said last year, we talked about. I said last year's draft was like a starters draft. I don't know if this year's a starters draft as deep as last year's was, but there will be helpful players throughout this draft. Like would a lot of these guys is going to go in the first round? Would I have taken them in the first round in past drafts that I've kind of broken down? Probably not. But just for the sake of this draft, I think you'll find some helpful pieces. I think you're really going to feel good about the draft when you get to day two, and you can kind of get some guys that slipped out of day one, and you can get them on that without giving up such high day one type capital.
Yeah. I just hope that they don't. I don't know if the story's true or not. Hey man, look, I'm not going to shame the Rams. Y'all one of the two teams I think is better than Denver. Pay y'all star receiver even if he out here wilding. Um, I saw a clip for Ruben Bain, and it was insane. It's the I don't know what the actual name of the drill is, but it's basically when they're trying to bend the corners. They just got that big
Oh
ass.
yeah, and he gets mad
Yeah,
low. Like he gets.
I'm like I'm like dead ass. I'm like I've not seen a nigga do that since Vaughn. And like that was Vaughn's thing of like just how low he could get. Because it's every great pass rush is a little bit different, right? Like
Yeah.
JJ and Aaron Donald's like they're just super fucking strong. They just kind of bully you. Miles is a fucking alien. He kind of does whatever the fuck he wants out there. But I was like, that's not normal. Like I don't give a fuck what the arm measurement is. I'm like, if you see niggas doing shit that's not normal, I'm just like, yeah, you just don't try to overcomplicate it. Who do you feel like is best set up? Like, because you said this isn't as deep as other classes. Who would
Hmm.
be just off top? You don't got to get a specific number, but your guys who are like they no doubt no matter what the draft. Like the niggas who would just be like top end picks no matter who. Like if fucking Mahomes, Peyton Manning, Brady all in the same draft type of shit.
Jeremiah Love is the best college running back I've seen in a while. He's I don't know if he's better than Bijan. I don't know if he's better than Jameer Gibbs. Uh he might be though. And he's
Is he better than
he's
Saquon?
a he it's a great question. My bar for college running backs is always Zeke. When we talking about like a specific era of college running back, it's always Zeke. Zeke was incredible at Ohio State, and like they'll try to rewrite the narrative of the running backs in college football. Like I watched Zeke carry Ohio State to that national championship. Like Cardell Jones was dope and he was great, but like Zeke powered that whole offense. Like I seen it happen. Saquon was great. Saquon was incredible. Jeremiah Love is just real. Like I don't know. I'd really have to sit with it. Like I said, I think he's better than Genty. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I do think he's better than Genty. I'd have to look at it when I think about like Saquon and Gibbs and Bijan and all. Love is one when you talk about that list of like no doubt guys. For me, Ruben Bain, like we talked about, um,
Mm-hmm.
because of the athleticism and the versatility, Arvell would be up there. Sonny Styles, like again, just because of the physical traits, and he can really play. Sonny Styles is not fucking like he's not a project. Like just because he's super athletic, but you don't know what to do with him. Like no, he can really play. Also, after that, I look at Mansour Delane out of LSU. Um, I think is a top guy. Uh, like I said, this draft doesn't have a lot of guys that I look at like that. Um, I think Caleb Downs is just going to be a really good player. Like he's not. I don't think he's an elite athlete, but he's just going to be really good, and I think for a long time. Um, but yeah, so that list when we talking about Love, Arvell, Maine, Styles. Caleb Downs. Those are the guys for me.
I feel like, and I don't know if you necessarily you don't do positional quite the same way. Just a few years we've done this quite the same way other people like you don't, even if you acknowledge I got quarterbacks to go first, it don't mean like a quarterback's the best player in the draft. Is
No.
it a problem for your Raiders that like you just named like 4 or 5 different guys and not one of them was the quarterback they're gonna take?
Nah. The Raiders will be okay because in getting Fernando Mendoza, you're going to get a guy that can start NFL football. What's the ceiling to Fernando Mendoza? I don't know, but I do know there's a winnable floor with Fernando Mendoza. You um, you made improvements to the offensive line, and then this class is deep with wide receivers to be able to get like guys that can catch the ball outside of Brock Bowers and fucking Trey Tucker. So like you'll be able to get pieces around them, and you still got Genty there, and you hope that Clint Kubiak is using him in a much better way than fucking Chip Kelly did. So it's you should have much more confidence in just the system of the Raiders, especially offensively. And if Ravens legend Max Crosby is up to snuff, then the defense should be okay.
You want the Bears to still go get Max Crosby, Will? Now that the price is probably down.
Not for two first, I'd imagine.
I was gonna say, no, that ain't the price being down. Um,
If they
for the
said
right
first in
price,
a
I'm not mad at it. I mean, I think I want to see what moves they're gonna make because we let a lot of people go. We let a lot of people go.
that's nuts.
But I mean, we do got the draft coming, so I guess we'll see what moves they try to make in the draft. I'm not really sure who's projected to be there around that 25 pick for us in the first round. Like I know I've seen like a few names thrown around. I think what's the safety name, Tony, that you mentioned? Not Caleb Downs, but the other one. I know a lot of people say he won't be there at 25, but I know that's a name I've seen. I think they predict him to go around 18. I think Peter Woods is a name.
Dylan Finneman from
Yeah, and
Oregon.
then I think Peter Woods, a D tackle, is a name I've seen a little bit. So I don't know. I've been seeing a bunch of names get thrown around kind of for that 25th pick. So we'll see. They need to make some. They need to make a move though.
How old
No,
is How old is Montez Sweat?
29.
Peter Woods wouldn't be bad. Peter Woods would not be
the
bad at all.
Is he a
I'm
tackle or
curious
edge?
how
Tackle. But he can
curious
line up
how
on the outside though. That's what makes Peter Woods like really good. Like he can line up all across the line, which is he's he didn't like I said, I think I said it this on the last show we did 2 weeks ago. Like he didn't splash as much this year. And like he can have some up and down plays. But like if he can be consistent with everything, like Peter Woods he was a top five guy coming into the season. Like he was a top five pick coming into the season. So when it all plays out, he's a back in first half, first round. He's a back end of the first round guy. So it's like if I can get that at 25, if I'm the Bears, I'm perfectly fine with that.
And I think too, as far as edge though, I am interested to see um, some more of Austin Booker for the Bears. Like I think he developed a lot last year, so I'm interested to see kind of the strides that he take going into the next year because I do think from what I've seen from him, I think he got the potential to be a starter for sure. I just don't know if that's this year. Um, and I don't necessarily know how they view it, but I think it was a number of plays that he made last season for sure. Just throughout the season, he had a lot of impact plays.
how have y'all fan bases reacted to like your team's off seasons? Because like Denver fans have been funny as fuck because they were upset because Denver did like you said Chicago, where like, oh, they let a lot of people go. Like Denver took the idea of, it's like, well, let's just resign everybody. Like, nigga, we won 14 games, like we good, like we're not paying the quarterback, like yeah, just resign niggas, right? And they had already been doing that kind of early anyway. Like a lot of Denver's best players have like really good contracts in comparison because they're signing them all early. Um, and then they obviously went out but the niggas was upset until the Jalen Waddle trade, and they was like, okay. And now they even see Walmart money's crazy. They traded for Jalen Waddle. Miami's paying some of his contract, and then Denver bought out and turned the rest of his contract into a signing bonus. So they still got like 19 million in cap. So technically, if they wanted to make one more move, quote unquote, they could. Um, the which they got to pay that bill in 2 years, but that's 2 years down the road. Fuck it. Rago fans has just been having like panic attacks up until the Waddle move. They finally shut the fuck up. How have y'all fan bases handled this offseason? Tony, I know y'all had an uneventful one.
Well, let me go first. Mine will be quick. Then we'll let Tony get in his. We'll let Tony jump in his duffel. Bears fans, it's the same every offseason. Honestly, fire polls. That's kind of that's that's the
That's
trend
crazy.
amongst.
Like when you have the turnaround, they still want niggas gone. Like
That's well because before Ben Johnson got hired, it was fire polls, and then once Ben Johnson get hired, they say all the draft picks that came in were Ben Johnson's picks, and polls ain't have nothing to do with nothing. So yeah, it's fire polls. What are they doing? Um, Panic. I mean, and I think especially they with the Bears maybe having the season that they had last year, and as fans we want to see them build on it, and if you do anything that appears that you're not trying to build on what you just did, they kind of go into panic mode. But it's honestly been a lot of that. But then it is some optimism too when you talk about Bears Twitter, as far as a lot of people were saying, well, last year was Ben Johnson's draft, so this year is going to be the draft for the defense. So we'll see. Um, and of course, when you see when one of our biggest downfalls was being able to get pressure on the quarterback, so you see the Max Crosby situation happen. Even with him with the initial trade of him going to the Ravens, Bears Twitter was upset saying, "Oh, of course the Bears got outbid, but it's like even if we offered the two first, I think the Ravens' first round picks were higher than ours, so theirs was just more valuable." And then the Ravens signed Trey Hendrickson, so they like, why didn't we sign Trey Hendrickson? So it's.
that was a little bit. I bought a little bit into the conspiracy that niggas might have said, "Oh shit, Trey going for what?" I bet. Throw the doctor
I know.
out.
I'm with it. I'm with them on the Ravens doing some bullshit. By the way, Tony. Uh,
I'm
I'm,
not mad at him though.
hey, listen.
They might have done some
After
bullshit. I'm
after
not mad
weeks
at
and
him.
weeks of hearing niggas say, yeah, like they was on some bullshit. The GM ain't even want to holler at Max when he pulled up. They say they say
He got pulled up.
we already got your ticket booked back to Vegas, nigga. he he had to come look for you. So yeah, I'm on board. I'm on board, and I think the Ravens should have to give up at least 10 first round picks. But that's just me.
Bill Belichick taught me, if you ain't trying to cheat, you ain't trying to win.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Absolutely.
Okay. 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 Uh, okay. Obviously, the Ravens have had a very eventful and loud off season. The fan base has taken it in stride, I guess. Like, you look at obviously the Max Crosby news break about the trade, and you are very excited about it. Like, the fan base is very excited about it, but you don't want to have to give up the picks. But it's okay. This is fucking Max Crosby, so it's like, all right, you fine with giving up the picks. Some people, a minority of the fan base was like, that's too much for Max Crosby. Majority was like, okay, you got to do what you got to do. Trade don't happen to fail physical. People are, you know, majority of the Ravens fans hate Eric DeCosta. Majority of Ravens fans think Lamar is going to leave. Um, Majority of Ravens
He
fans
just
probably
restructured, didn't he?
he restructured. He didn't extend.
Mm.
I I don't feel like Lamar is a career Raven. This is like a quick aside. Like I don't feel like Lamar is a career Raven. I don't. I struggle with the idea that he'll finish his career with the Ravens, but I don't. I also don't know like if I care. I also don't know if I care. Um, I say because I think that if he wins the Super Bowl with the Ravens, obviously great. But if he doesn't, I think that the best opportunities were had already. But that was a quick side thing. Um, with
We clipping that. Tony thinks
when it
Lamar not a career Raven. All caps.
fine, like I'll be 30 next year. Sports probably only got 5 more years out of me anyway. Um,
Oh shit.
but yeah, the fan base is fucking like Ravens fans are miserable, but they're miserable for a reason. Like because you feel like we've rooted for a team that we've saw that is capable of winning a Super Bowl and they haven't, and we've seen worse teams than the team we thought was better win. You talk about that 23 Chiefs team. Um, Last year, the Ravens wouldn't have beat the Eagles. Had they got to that point, they wouldn't have beat the fucking Eagles, and they wouldn't have beat this Seattle team either. So I always go to 2023 because I think that was the best team in the league. I think that team was the team to get it done. Um, but yeah, the only thing that's going to make Ravens fans happy this year is a Super Bowl, and I'm not even going to sit here and think and act like I think that they're like one of the top contenders for that. Like I can't sit here right now with all the uncertainties on the team and say that I think they are. Like I said, I think as long as you have a Lamar and a Kyle Hamilton level of player, you can contend. But like, do I think that they're just I don't even think they're just hands down the best team in the division. Like I think this. I think the
Damn.
Steelers have a good roster. I really do. The quarterback situation is iffy, and I think Mike McCarthy's a bozo. So that's what holds the Steelers back. I think the Bengals are some defensive moves away from maybe being the best team in the division. So I can't even just sit here and hands down give the Ravens the North again going into the 2026 season, let alone just say, oh yeah, like this is a top of the line Super Bowl contender. Because I don't think they're better than Denver. I don't think they're better than Seattle. I don't think they're better than um, who else? I don't think they're better than the Rams. I don't think they're better than fucking. Uh,
Do you think they're better than the Patriots?
I don't think they're better than the Patriots. Like I don't. Like I don't think they're better than the Patriots right now. Patriots coming off a fucking Super Bowl appearance. I don't think they're better than the Patriots right now. Um, and I could probably like if the Eagles like each other, the Ravens aren't better than the Eagles. That they're just not. But I don't know if the Eagles like each other. But
If they gonna
but
like each other, they might still be the best team in the league. Like, if we being
like
honest about it, like if them niggas got along,
I don't think the Ravens are better than a healthy San Francisco with Bosa and Fred Warner coming back. Um, like so I don't I don't know. So like yeah, the only thing that's gonna make Ravens fans happy, I'm not in that majority, but the only thing that's gonna make Ravens fans happy is a Super Bowl. For me, going into 2026, bro, I would just like a team that I feel good rooting for. Like I always say, I've seen the franchises I root for, only one now really, uh, in counting USC, which is a college team. But like I've seen the sports teams I root for win championships. So once you see it once, the same thing. It's the same thing. Like so I'm not sitting here saying I need the Ravens to win a goddamn Super Bowl every year. I want them to because I think Lamar deserves that. Because I feel like it'd be sad for Lamar not to get it. I want them to win the Super Bowl for Lamar. But independent of Lamar, I don't need this team to win the Super Bowl. I just want them to fucking put a good team that you like cheering for on the field. No John Harbaugh anymore, so the vibes are up off of that alone. So we going to see.
nah,
We are going to see.
nah, that's valid. shift over to the NBA. There's been obviously a conversation going around. Uh, I think it's official now. I think Jokic just lost his unanimous best player alive status. There's a lot of people that want to give it to SGA because he's probably going to be a two-time MVP now. They are the favorites still to win a title. So if we're projecting a little bit, two MVPs, two titles, where does that place him? And then we got the 7'6" nigga who we like, again, projecting, but you just look at him. The man blocked somebody who used the rim to protect his layup. And I think at that point, y'all seen the Kobe White clip? Like where Kobe White went up, he pump faked, did a floater. He got Wembanyama out of position, but this nigga's arms are so long, he still swatted that shit. And Kobe White
I didn't see it.
jumped up
I
and
didn't
down.
see it. I
Like he
didn't see
dead
it.
ass like a kid jumped up and down and was like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And it's like, nigga, not shoot the ball. Like he's 7'6". Like, why you around
That's
this
real.
shit? Uh the with the best player conversation is I'm curious where y'all fall on this, right? And Tony, you texted like a week ago or so, and you're like, yo, SGA, I think it was the first time you said like SGA might have supplanted Jokic, right? My question is, what is like the line for these guys of like how great they can be? Obviously, your resume has to matter, but like if you just watch the player, like Wembanyama, we all just kind of concede if he stays healthy and he's already this good because he's an abnormal size, like you could be the greatest player ever, like you just could. Jokic, we put in historical context to how great he's been. For Shea, how high is that in terms of not just resume, but if you just put him player for player, like could you say like, okay, he's I don't know what y'all consider him a point guard or a two guard. I think of more of as a two, even though I know he technically plays point. But like
I think of
if you
him.
were to sit there and
That's a good question. I think of him as a point guard though.
like if you look at him, you like, yo, could you ever be in a position where like SGA is better than Dwayne Wade? Is SGA better than Steph Curry? Is SGA better than I think Harden right now is kind of historically a really good context because I was never a Harden guy, but if you just look at his stats from Houston, that's some of like the most dumb video game shit you'll ever see in your life. Like, also shout out to Wilt who I found this out. He got suspended or kicked out of the game, and that's the reason why his streak ended. Like SGA broke his 20-point per game streak. The game Wilt didn't get 20. The nigga only played 4 minutes, and he got kicked out. But I think he was already up to like 10 in 4 minutes. So shout out to Wilt, but he got kicked out that game, and that's why his streak was over.
Will has some pussy
Um,
waiting. He ain't had time to be running around with them white men.
like I guess so. That's with the best player conversation. Like, who in y'all opinion right now is the best player, and B, how high do you think like these guys can actually be in terms of like historical context? Like, could they be not just resume, but actually better than some of these players we consider all timers?
I mean, Shea's the best player to me, and as far as how high he can get in the hierarchy of things, he could crack the top 10 for sure. It's open for him. Like I said in text last week, I think it was like another ring for me puts him at top ten guard, point guards, and I argue top 10 guard really. Um, Another title puts him in top 10 guard because you figure, assuming that he be Finals MVP, that's two regular season, two Finals MVPs to go with two titles. Um, as the lead dog is like shit. It's not many with a better resume than that. So yeah, he can go very high. Like there is nobody playing right now that can cross a Mike, that can cross a Braun, that can cross a Magic or a Kareem. Um, So I think at that point you get into the once you get past Mount Rushmore, that's when you get into the Duncans, the Kobe's, the Shaqs, the Birds, the Dreams, the Russells, the Stephs. I think that's when you get into that territory. So that's open for him.
Okay, I want to hear Will's take, and then a player that I think he compares very well to. If we feel like he can actually be better than again, the resume Shea might end up getting just because you got the same resume as somebody else. To me, doesn't just automatically mean you're better than them. Like, just in the pit of how I view that level of basketball. Um, but Will, really quick, who you think right now, if you go on best player in the league, and where you think these guys can potentially finish?
I would go Shea. Um, as far as where they could potentially finish, and you asking all of them, or you asking for like Shea specifically?
Realistically, I think Shea's the hardest to, in my mind, to put in some of those conversations. Because again, like Wemby's 7'6", so if he's this great and he wins, like if Wemby gets to 4 or 5 titles and has all these crazy numbers, like it's not going to be hard to be like, oh, he's one of the 3 or 4 greatest basketball players ever. Jokic has been doing it now for half a decade, where it's
I
like,
did say
oh,
there's nobody in the league, and I completely forgot about Wimby. I obviously outside of Wimby, outside of Wimby, there's nobody. So that's
like
just
Jay,
so everybody got that clear. Like Wimby's his own thing. Like obviously that, but
you was talking about human beings, like Jalen
yeah,
Brown
yeah,
said.
exactly. I was talking about
Yeah,
mortals.
like
You know what I'm saying?
not the Viltrumite who snuck in. We're gonna get y'all that in a couple weeks.
I gotta tap in tonight.
The
Actually,
um, so yeah, so like where you feel like they could get again for their career and just where they are right now.
I mean, I think top 10 is definitely a possibility. I think around the people who they could pass, I think Wemby, for me, Wemby is probably like a wait and see type of thing, like
Mm-hmm.
for sure. Just because when we talk about guys like with that frame, and then of course being that tall is going to be a longevity thing for him to see how long he could kind of maintain. Outside of him, I don't know. Like I think it could be a conversation for sure for SGA and for Jokic to be in kind of those top 10 conversations. I guess like even when we talk about like Steph maybe being outside of that first tier guys, I think Steph is tricky when it because like a lot of people have Steph at 9 or 10 or something like that because he would be somebody who you just kind of putting into your top 10. I think where that would get tricky for me is because he changed the game. Um, so it wouldn't be as easy for me to put somebody ahead of him like solely based off resume when you change the trajectory of the entire game. But
So I agree with that part of Steph, and that is kind of some of the like everybody who's in like the general names that are in the top 10. Everybody is kind of groundbreaking in their own way, and realistically, we want to go with like the least groundbreaking one, but he's super iconic. Is like right, Kobe would be the least groundbreaking, right? Because it's like his thing was, oh, he just what Mike did, he just did a lesser version of it, and that was dope, and he's iconic. But he's not Magic being a 6'9" point guard. He's not LeBron being a 6'8" do everything. He's not Jordan being the most dominant scorer ever. Like where
but
my
even
issue
but
with
even
Shea is
real quick, yo, even like
mm,
even though he doesn't have like that like Mamba mentality is like a thing amongst the league today.
not,
Like
that's
so when
and
you
that's an
talk about
iconic thing.
just
That's not necessarily
I got that tattooed on me.
it's tough.
like that, but yeah, so
Yeah, no,
it's
it's
like it's kind of like one of those things the way it's like when they don't like when they talk about somebody being like a dog or being clutch or being like having that killer, they just call it Mamba
oh yeah,
mentality now.
no, 1,000%. Like if you're just doing iconic
I
stats,
think
Kobe
Justin
won
probably meant just like the uh the the
the style
physical
of his
part of
game.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the style of his game is he was now to his credit, he's the only one that did it. Like everybody copies like who the best player is, and Kobe's just the best example ever of like I copied the best player and I got the closest to being like the best player, right? Um, where I get messed up, and this isn't a criticism to Shea, is like Wemby because of size is just unique, and I think he could get into the Mount Rushmore status. I think Jokic because he's done this for so long, and he is also unique. Jokic isn't going to sniff MVP realistically this year, and the nigga's going to lead the NBA in rebounds and assists. Like, it's insane. If you told me at the end of his career Jokic is the best center ever, I'm willing to listen to that argument. Like, I think he has a right to sit at the table with Russell's always the tough one, so I apologize to my Bill Russell fans out there. But if I say like modern era centers, Kareem, Shaq, Dream, Jokic is like my Mount Rushmore of modern eras. Told me I don't think he's going to get there because I think the Nuggets are breaking down faster than we thought originally. if he had finished his career with the theoretical, he gets to 3 or 4, or even 5 rings. He's got obviously a shit ton of points, rebounds, assists. Then
I'm
look,
laughing
I
at
think
you
you would.
saying modern era centers, saying Bill Russell.
Well, that's I'm just saying. Like Russell's in a like I can't compare Russell and Wilt. They just
Can't even
have
count
they're
blocks for most of his
anomalies.
career.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's and so it's just tough, right? Like Wilt's got obviously every fucking per game record in the book. So it's like I don't really compare niggas to Wilt. It's like, all right, you got it, bro. Um, but I wouldn't be shocked. Where I get with SGA is I'm like, am I going to sit there and if SGA, who's currently on the team that might get 3, 4 rings, who knows? Like, am I going to say, look him face to face with Steph and be like, okay, is he better than Steph? Am I going to look him face to face and be like, okay, he is better? Is Steph, am I going to even be like, are you better than Isaiah Thomas? Which right now is, I think, wherever you want to rank the real Isaiah Thomas, wherever you want to rank Isaiah Thomas, who I think it's criminally underranked, I think SGA right now has to be under him, but that's the next spot he's going to, which is lead guard, win multiple finals, you clearly being the best player. I think Steph passed Isaiah. He obviously got more titles than him, and he's the greatest shooter ever. But like that's to me right now where I have SGA in my mind of like wherever you got Isaiah Thomas, which is a top 20 player ever. Like, so it's not slighting him. I struggle when it's like, okay, am I gonna put you when you get into that top 10, top 12 status, like, are you better than Durant, who I think has to be in that conversation of a top 15 guy all time? Are you better than, are you better than Kobe, who's in that 6 to 10 range? Are you better than, like, there's a guy, so I'm like, I don't know if I feel like you're better, even if you get that resume. And that's where I'm like, because I had to hear.
And real quick, all of these niggas can't win 3 to 4 championships because they got to play against each other. Let's just throw that
No,
out
I
there.
get it. That's what I'm saying.
And all three
Only
of them in
one
the
of them's
West.
going
When
to
we
get
talk
there.
about SGA, when we talk about Wemby, when we talk about Jokic,
I
everybody
could
can't
I,
win 3 to 4.
I could get with a second title might put Shea above KD to me.
That's tough.
Especially we talking
That's,
lead man.
but even if you
Like
would, like,
KD
Finals
hasn't been
MVP don't make you lead man either.
KD hasn't
no, but
been
you
good
won't really
lead
say he's
man
better than
since his
Durant.
first OKC stint. Because he wasn't lead man in Golden State. And everything
No,
after Golden
no,
State's been a disaster. So like
correct. But if you don't got to be, and that's where KD is weird because he's like the only guy this qualifies for, and then like you can have the early Kobe Shaq arguments, but I don't think people realistically argue that Shaq was the guy. KD, even in those runs, it was like Steph is the guy, and Steph had a lot of attention. Durant is just when you talk about like the greatest ever at something, like this nigga just passed Mike. He is still 13th all time in shots. Like all the other niggas who got to the space where Durant is, nobody has ever done it this efficiently. No one's ever been like Durant is so good. When you talk about like best shooting bigs ever, niggas just don't include him. He's a 7-footer, and we just don't include him because he's the obvious answer. So it's like, all right, we'll take this nigga out the way, and then let that now who's the best shooting big?
I mean, that's
I'm
because
not
he ain't ever been considered a big necessarily. Of course, he's 7 feet, but he always plays small forward
Dirk.
I
outside of
Dirk's
his
just
ever
back
you
years, of
consider
like
Dirk a
course.
big?
I just think that I just like I could get with Shea 2 titles. I could get with Shea jumping KD. Like I really could
That's
because I
tough.
can't.
I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but it's tough.
I gotta put some type of stock into what are you doing as the guy. Like I got to put stock into that.
And I might roll with it just off the fact that he did it in OKC. Like
like I did it. Like I did it where you couldn't.
Like KD's
Like
are gone.
I came to your this was like your thing. Like they built like moving to OKC on off your back. And like you couldn't get it done here and I pulled up and held it down.
Like KD's gone. Post Warriors, KD's gone. Missed the season because of injury, and it was COVID. He went second round loss to Milwaukee, sweep to Boston. Uh, first second round loss in Phoenix. First round
That was the
loss
Luca
in
one.
Phoenix. That was Denver.
No,
That was
Luca did that to
Denver.
Chris Paul. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Denver. And then he went first round loss to Ant, in 24. Last year, he missed playoffs. Like
And low key, like outside of going to Brooklyn, I don't know if any team he's went to has gotten better after he arrived.
Okay, so that again is all true. KD just sits in this space of like, and this is unfair, and I get it's not how we rate everybody, but like because he is so high on like the 1v1 scale of like, nobody can stop him in like a 1v1 kind of environment. It's KD's tough. Would I be opposed to it? No, I just think it's tough.
so
Like
was
I think
Tracy
Steph is
McGrady.
tough.
Like I don't
No,
give
but
a
that's it.
shit
But I
about
think,
that.
but KD. The difference is Tracy McGrady had to go out and say, like, look, man, if they put me on those teams with Shaq, we'd have got a title. And it's like, when they get
He was
your money
right.
on me.
That's not the same. It's the Jay-Z and Andre 3000 all over again. It's not the same. It's not the same.
I don't
It's
know
not
if
the
T-Mac on
same
those
thing.
teams. That's what's happening.
Not the same.
But
Tracy McGrady and Shaq would have had the same
also,
success Kobe and Shaq had. Maybe better.
no, okay, but also, T-Mac's
Probably better because I don't know.
when it
I
comes
don't
to
know if T
success.
Mac was gonna talk to Shaq the way Kobe did.
I don't know
So
if
like,
anybody was talking Shaq.
so so they may still be together right now.
My problem with T-Mac's statement is like T-Mac don't just have like, oh damn, you ain't won a title. T-Mac never won a series. You can't be a nigga never won a series and saying I could have done with somebody who got 3. Like I'm a
Bro,
Tracy
you
never
could
made it
you
out
could
the
say that
first
when you could say
round.
that when Shaq you could say that when Shaq when you go on to play with Shaq you can say that.
Tracy never made out the first round. It's tough,
see.
man.
That's what I'm
You
saying. I'm like, it's different if it was like Dame. I really have like sympathy for because Dame's like, damn, we had some good teams. We could have done it.
I
We just
wish I
ran
would
into
have
Warriors.
sympathy
I'm
for a
like,
nigga making hundreds of millions of dollars.
not-
You're a real nigga, Will. You're a real nigga, bro.
No
I ain't
fuck.
s- hey, look, man. But I guess that's where I am with Shea, where I'm like, you're gonna have this crazy race, and you're right. Well, not everybody's gonna get multiple titles. I don't think Jokic has. I think Jokic is probably. If I was betting, it's like I think he's at one. I think he's gonna stay at one. I
But
think
if this
Shea
was
has
3 years
a
ago,
chance.
you wouldn't have said you would have had him winning at least another two.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Well, 3 years ago, when you had Shea in this conversation, I do because I do give the. I'm jaded on it, but I'm like, because my lifetime of watching basketball, I'm like, okay, Shaq best nigga in the league, Shaq gets 3P. Duncan's, it's weird. You could say he's either the best or at worst second best player in the league. He's got 5 titles. LeBron ends up getting for like the guys who's been the best. I just see them keep winning titles, and now this last 8 years is like niggas don't want to decide every new title every year. Like if
It's a
OKC
better
repeats,
league.
it's our first repeat since. I don't see that one's. See, the better league is tough because like 10 of these teams don't give a fuck, and so it's tough. Like at the top, I
They
think
didn't
it's
give a
better,
fuck before.
but
We was watching like
not
Like what?
like these niggas. Hey,
we was
look, man, no,
Wait,
we
hold
was
on.
watching that shit. Like
niggas have not been doing
Hold on,
what
hold
the
on, hold
Utah
on.
Jazz are doing.
that.
Have been doing. This
What?
is
What?
These
How many
niggas been
games did that?
these niggas been taking since the beginning of nigga them.
How many games did that Nets team win with fucking Devin Harris? Like 11. Like we watched this for
okay.
years.
11.
Like
Y'all heard Hov. Nets can go 0 for 82.
I'm not letting them. No. It's a better league now. Like you were saying, if the Thunder win the chip, they be the first team to go back to back since the 17-18 Warriors, which is almost 10 years ago. Like we're in a better league. It's just a better
It's more
league.
competitive. Like you don't know who gonna win.
No, that's I'm again.
Cause right now, if the Spurs win a chip this year, niggas gonna be like, man, Wemby could win 6 straight,
So
and then the Thunder go win next year. Like,
I don't want to confuse this, and I think what I said, I probably fucked up the way I said this, but I want to make sure I say this. This is to me though why there is a difference of like who was actually like a top 10, like those high end pantheon guys, is because they are the niggas who get all the titles, and that's been a defining factor of them versus everybody else, right? Like Kobe 5, Duncan 5, Braun 4, Magic 4, Birds 3. Hakeem is probably like Hakeem got back to back, but again he got 2 titles when Mike was retired, came back, Mike started winning more. Like, so the fact that none of these niggas are stacking multiple titles, some of that is just because, to Tony's Tony said a few minutes ago, like nobody is looking LeBron in the eye, nobody's looking Mike in the eye, nobody's looking like even again what Kobe and Shaq had. Like those are different levels of the all-time guys, and that's where I guess with now if Shea does it, then maybe I just got to admit that I'm wrong, and he is one of those dudes. If he does stack multiple titles, because I thought Giannis was going to do it, Giannis didn't do it. I thought Jokic was going to do it. So far, Jokic hasn't done it. I think Wemby, obviously, again, he's the ultimate potential. I think he's got a chance to do it, but we'll see if he actually does.
How many, when we talk about, real quick, when we talk about like the top 10 guys or the Pantheon guys, like how many of those guys were at their peaks at the same time? So to say like this person is at his peak, and like when you talk about like being able to win multiple titles.
So the easy one is Magic and Bird.
That's the only one I thought of initially. And I mean, well, yeah, I guess depending on who you got in your top 10, but
I mean, Kobe Duncan and Shaq.
Magic, Bird, Kobe, Duncan, Shaq kind of ran like Justin's about to say, like kind of together. And at worst, Kobe and Duncan. At worst, Kobe and Duncan.
Even right, because I don't even want to say Kobe. I don't even want to separate Kobe and Shaq because they got three together.
Yeah.
But like
Shaq was the best guy, and so that's where like I would to Tony's thing is like, yeah, I would say Kobe and Duncan are more side by side, where like Shaq was the man. Like it's weird though because Duncan had a title because they got in '99.
Mike and Magic until situations.
I don't want to do that because I'm not even sure. Is that Mike's prime? Like Mike was like, I mean, he dropped 60 in his second year, but like or second playoffs.
Magic won MVP in what? Magic was still like a MVP candidate in like 1990. Like Magic was that man. And I personally, like all bullshit aside, I think Magic probably still had another run in the 90s, even if he's not tip top. Like, and Magic's tip top is the best player we ever seen. So it's like I think he still had a go.
Oh yeah. No, and Magic's theoretically like his play style ages really well. Like
exactly. So that's my like
athleticism or.
If he never gets sick, then I think that Magic still has. I think that's the right, and that's not to say the Lakers beat the Bulls either. That, but I do think Magic is still there to challenge Mike.
How many of these guys do y'all think play 20 years?
Kareem and Bron?
No, I'm talking about like these guys. Like when we talking about the SGAs, we talking about the win. Because like when you talk about. But that's like, so when you talk about like these niggas winning multiple championships, it's like it wasn't like all at once. I mean, outside, like, I mean, of course, Mike did it in the stretch that he did it in, but like when you talk about like Kobe won his with Shaq, and he had a down period, and then you got to think even with the Spurs, like Tim Duncan, he won. Then what? Did they go?
Well, his first three came early, and then it was until 7 to 14. So even Tim went 7 years before he got 5.
So like are these guys gonna even be around long enough to like see those type of numbers?
That's real, because when you look at it, the only ones. Go ahead, Justin.
I would say if health, like I definitely don't think it's Jokic. By the way, Jokic will retire before all of these.
Don't none of these niggas love basketball? They don't even like hooping for real.
No, I think I weirdly think Wemby does, and I don't know if I'm just buying the like.
Shea want to wear titty tops and shit.
Patrick Beverly, like I think Wemby genuinely loves this shit. And if you told me Wemby, Shea, Jokic, who makes it 20 years, my money would go on Wemby. I don't think it's confident, but like my money.
20 years at 7'5", that's tough. but I think 20 years is tough because they're going to make the money.
They make too much money. I think they make too much money to do this for 20 years.
They make the money to not have to play 20 years, and then it's a thing of like the accomplishments. We are seeing these guys get the accomplishments so early that it ain't shit on the back end to chase.
it's one of the things that's so unfortunate about like, and Duncan's a great example of this. Duncan really
Bron's
never
only
got
playing
seen.
because he wants to get all the stats to justify him being better than Mike. Like had Braun gotten 5 or 6 in those finals opportunities, Braun wouldn't be playing still. Like
For
Braun's
sure.
only still going to surpass all the statistics to try to make the argument inarguable.
Because it's like he at this point he kind of figured he ain't gonna win the ring debate, so it's like let me get all this other shit, and then but even still like at least your name he like all right, at least my name will be there regardless of niggas saying well it took you 23 years to do it.
But see, Bron and Durant are like genuine like basketball junkies. Like I do feel like you can say
Brian don't
you're
give
gonna
a fuck
chase
about hooping
numbers.
no more.
I don't.
You got
I
KD,
don't
I
know
will
about
give you
that.
that. You got Brian fucked up.
Like
It's an
KD, like
ego thing with Braun. It's a love
Yeah,
thing
like
with
you,
KD.
KD love the game. Brian on a different mission.
that, that my, now I was looking at because again, KD passed Mike, and niggas was being like, well, KD don't got shit to do. Like KD not married, he don't got no fucking kids to go home to. He's like, yo, what if this nigga really runs 6 more years? Like, do you think Kevin Durant's not gonna be able to give you 25 in 4 more years? And Durant is
Brian
one of
can't
the
wait till
few
this shit over.
guys. Like, Durant could catch Bron.
Ron
Like
ain't,
as
Ron ain't
fucked up
never
as
been
that
so happy
is.
to play third banana in his life.
Brian be out there like, here, nigga, damn.
Oh shit. My money would be no that nobody makes it 20 years, but like Wemby would be because the niggas
15.
who are like junkies for basketball now are all role players. Like Josh Hart is a junkie for basketball, but he's a role player.
we
Like in the
the
NBA.
crazy thing is we talking like most of these niggas is in like year 10 plus already.
Well, Jokic, how many years is Jokic in? What year is Jokic in?
I
It's
think he's 11.
2026. I think Jokic is like year 11 or 12.
Yeah, so Jokic, he been in the SGA is what, year 6, 7?
8 or 9
No, he
maybe,
got
like,
fucked up because
or like
he got
7 or 8.
2019.
got fucked up.
7 or 8. So yeah.
So yeah, so Jokic is in year 11. SGA because SGA he was right because he was part of the Paul George trade.
Yeah, he might be what, 2019? Well, he was right before COVID.
He's like 28, 29. Like 28, not 29. He's like
He's in year
28.
8. Yeah. Again, he's weird because he didn't start playing until later, and obviously was a trade. Like, I always got that fucked up with Steph for a long time. It's like I always used to assume because Steph didn't play really the first 3 years of his career. He was getting fucked up with the ankles. Because the greatest thing
2018.
that ever
So
happened
yeah,
to the
he in year
Warriors
8.
was Steph signing that fucking 4 for 44.
That petty ass
They
deal.
didn't want to give and it was like that shit set up so much for them because he was then locked in as like not an all NBA guy and not this fucking superhuman. So it was like, oh yeah, of course y'all can make all these moves. Like Steph is just an average ass nigga, and it was like,
But that's what
got
niggas
something
should
fucked
listen.
up.
When you
Like,
get these niggas for the cheap, you got to go all in.
Go get Andre
that shit
Iguodala.
is insane.
Listen,
Yeah, MVP if the aliens are shooting. The
shout out to Max, man.
that's all
Jeff
time.
being pointed at the earth.
That's all time, bro. Really quick we about to get out of here, but want to do real quick. Baseball's back, opening night. Giants, Yankees. Shout out to baseball fans. I texted this earlier, but it was still insane to me. And I thought the next conversation was going to have real quick. Barry Bonds only hit 50-plus homers once in his entire career. Now, he hit 73 that season, and I'm very well aware, baseball nerds, don't yell at me. I'm aware the nigga was walked more than like every other team while he played. I get it. I am fully aware. But that was still kind of a crazy stat to see. Like, this nigga never got to over. Like, I'm also wondering, in my head, I was like, so was it like just a collective? Once he got to 50, everybody was like, all right, let's see how far he takes this. Like, he can't really get to 70. Like, that's not possible. Like, y'all decided to walk him every year but that. Like, to the dominance of Bonds, and this was, again, we'll be quick here, but I thought this was a fun convo, is the most feared players in a sport, like, ever. Like, Bonds was so... Pujols is the closest I feel like I've ever seen in baseball, where Pujols, during his peak, like, niggas were walking him intentionally. But, like, Bonds was getting walked with the bases loaded. And I just don't know, for people that aren't huge into baseball, Like, and that was in. Was that in the World Series?
Was it in the World Series? Maybe in the playoffs. I'm not sure if it was in the World Series,
That's,
but playoffs
I know
for
it's Buck Showalter
sure.
did it, but
Yeah, as Buck would
and I'm
do.
like, you
Yeah.
just like, yeah, like niggas just decided, okay, he's that much better than all of us. Hey, don't nobody take a chance no more.
Oh no, that was
But
May
who else for y'all
28th,
would?
1998.
Shit is crazy. Um, but yeah, who would make that list for y'all for like the most feared niggas in sports ever?
I'll we obviously had talked about it a little bit earlier. I'll keep it to the guys that I watched with my own two. And
Damn, Ty Cobb ain't gonna get no love.
like I said, Ty Cobb. You just
That
called me
nigga
the
was
N
smiling
word.
kicking niggas in the
you
shop. That
just
nigga
called
was
me
drop
you
kicking
just
people
called me the
smiling
hard
in their
N word.
face.
I would say guys that I've seen with my own eyes, like we talked about Tiger Woods, like Tiger's dominance was feared. Goddamn, boxing wise, Prime Triple G uh is up there.
He is up there.
Prime Gennady Golovkin when he was you thought he might kill somebody is up there for sure. Um those are just a quick two off of the top. I think Kobe was more feared by the fans than he was the guys on the court. I know I was terrified of the motherfucker. I don't I don't think Ray Allen was, but like Kobe to the fans, like in the eyes of the fan bases for sure. Like you for sure feared Kobe as a fan. Um NFL is interesting because I feel like you can't really have any fear on that
I
fucking.
feel like Aaron Donald is on that list.
But I to that point I was
Okay,
about to say
so
Ray Lewis,
Ray
like Ray
Lewis is on
Lewis.
that
Ray
list.
Lewis is on that list when we think about most fear. Just put the fear in your heart, guys.
nigga, does the 2000s Ravens and Steelers, and like I don't even know Tony at this time, but if you had to play them, like you were like nervous for like the niggas on your team. You was like who because besides Chad Johnson, who was just like, yeah, I want to run across the middle and get hit by Ray Lewis. Like you just like you saw them hit people and you was like, damn. Like Ray was definitely like Troy Polamalu, and again, it's not so much being individually feared. It was just like those two teams. It was different. It
Yeah,
was like, all right,
those jerseys
all
put
right,
fear in you for sure.
yeah. Like I feel like we're just too young to get like the niggas who everybody said people were scared of. Like niggas would tell you like niggas were scared of Ronnie Lott. They were scared of Lawrence Taylor. That one for good reason. Like, but we didn't get to see any of them in real time. They're basically all done by the time we started watching sports. So
Didn't Ronnie Lott kill a
NFL
guy?
wise, so did Mel Blunt, supposedly, allegedly. Who knows? Like, they got a they say he might have hit somebody a little too hard once or twice. Because is anyone in the NFL like Aaron Donald is? I think Aaron Donald is more for the fans. Like I think it's terrifying for us. I think regular players like he's just better than me, and that's different than like being feared. You
We
just know
watched the
like you
nigga
can't do
scream on
anything.
the field at Aaron Donald. I don't think we can really say that they didn't
I
fear Aaron
We
Donald.
watched.
the quarterback, the
We heard a
quarterback he
nigga.
was about to hit said, "Oh shit,
If you don't
nigga,
think
yeah,
them
of course you're about to
quarterbacks that
get
was
hit."
playing the Rams were scared of Aaron Donald,
I again, I think there was respect that it was like, oh, he's just gonna whoop my ass. But like being scared, I think I got a different feeling watching Aaron Donald than as a
did you hear
grudging
the
player
guy?
watching.
Did you hear the Packers player screaming at Jordan Love to run when Miles Garrett got off? Was that
Again,
like
you go
was that
like
fear? Was that fear that you heard in his voice the way like to hear a grown man scream?
I heard Jano Smith audibly say, "Oh my God," when Aaron Donald was bearing down at him. I don't think Geno Smith had that reaction to every defensive end that's coming his way on a Sunday. Like it happens a lot. I think that was rare for him to do that to a guy. I think that's reserved for Aaron Donald.
Like when
that's
Miles
fair.
Garrett when Miles Garrett got a nigga and you can hear him on the field saying, "Jordan, run!"
See, my problem with them is like JJ is in that conversation in terms of like how dominant, like he's there with Aaron Donald, he's there with Myles Garrett, but I'm like, I never felt like niggas was scared of JJ Watt. They just knew they couldn't do anything with him.
What we telling you is we got these niggas have been mic'd up and you can hear the fear. That's all I'm trying to tell. Like I'm not assuming. I'm telling you I've heard the quivering in their voices.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Shout out to JJ Watt.
All timer. Hey man, we about to get out of here. Appreciate y'all as always. I will have better lights next week. I promise. We transitioning. We're moving some stuff around. So
what kind of internet y'all got over there in the new spot?
Why have I been lagging?
I don't know if you've been lagging. I don't know if it's just me or he been kind of blurred. I don't know if it's the same on your end, Tony. At least from what you see.
That's what happened, man. You recording in the trap house.
We're saying nothing on the wall, nothing in the background, or nothing.
When you stealing cable?
His neighbor don't even know. His neighbor don't even know he done tapped his line.
It's gonna be better next week. That's all I got. It's gonna be better next week, man.
You gonna be bald next week? Because I'm not showing up if you are.
Again next week.
I'm using PTO. I'm using PTO next week.
You need to pick a side, Justin.
Nigga,
What's the bet we gotta make for you to grow your shit out like Duke in 2015?
Like who?
You gotta grow your shit out like Jahlil Okafor and them. Like what's the bet we gotta make? If Denver wins the Super Bowl, you gotta grow your hair out like Justice Winslow.
Shout out to Justice Winslow. That's a name.
Dudes naming dudes.
Shout out to niggas think. Shout out to niggas thinking Jahlil Okafor, if he just played in the 90s, is gonna be the Hall of Famer.
No. Don't skip over this. If Denver wins the Super Bowl, I stop watching pro football. You grow your hair out.
That's a crazy bet.
That's a good deal. That's a good deal.
Tony just want football to be over.
That's a good deal.
Justin said this nigga was gonna stop watching football anyway. He just tried to use you.
Hey, look, man.
Grow your hair out like Tobias Harris.
Anyway. Man, I don't even know what the fuck Tobias Harris looks like right now.
J. Cole. Minus the dreads.
Tobias Harris.
J. Cole without the dreads. You remember it was a run with the J. Cole doppelgangers. Who was it? Jerry Levine, Tobias Harris.
Quinn Cook.
How much? How much is a plane ticket to Turkey?
Istanbul.
Shit, you gonna be waiting in that line for about 2 days.
Nah, see, I got time because they gonna pay them niggas by the time Denver wins the Super Bowl.
Shit.
They say right now, best round trip, 527 to 756. We gotta put something else.
You might not want to travel right now.
You was gonna stop. No, right now I ain't traveling. No.
Yeah, you don't want to travel. You don't want to travel right now.
No. You can't cheat. You gotta grow that shit from scratch, nigga. You gotta grow that shit out from. You gotta get out the mud. Rashad McCants.
They'll be trying to take no follicles from your beard and put it in your crown, nigga.
What Cole would say? Don't bring no burner. Don't cheat, nigga.
We'll finalize that. We'll put it out there on the social. We'll finalize the bet for me growing my hair back. Hey, man,
put it on the social and pin it to the top.
Appreciate you all as always. We'll be back next week. Don't forget to check us out. YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. I know it's been a little silent. Had a lot of shit going on again. Computer was finally up for the first time. Literally, I got my computer up and running about 10 minutes before we got in here. So it's been a couple weeks, man. But we back, we here, we ready to give y'all some content, not just the same bullshit you can go and get from anywhere else. Real conversations, real people, all that other good stuff that they say plays into the algorithm nice and well. Hey, man, this is the Group Chat Podcast. We'll see y'all next week.